In a shocking turn of events that caught everyone off guard, Hermès, the ultimate name in high-end fashion and unmatched craftsmanship, has reportedly stopped producing Birkin bags. Yes, you heard that right. The iconic handbag, long considered the pinnacle of luxury, wealth, and social prestige, is allegedly no longer in production.
Being made.
It requires a lot of skill to turn it and get it on the right way.
Il y a des bouchées, des bacs plus 4, 5, 6, on en a. Hein.
Does anybody have the Louis Vuitton from China?
De l'entrée où on me donne des morceaux de cuir jusqu'au moment où je vais avoir livré ma pièce, je veux pas qu'on reproduise un geste de façon indéfinie en se disant bon bah je fais toujours ce même geste et je pense qu'on est vraiment là pour apprendre un métier et pas des tâches.
And it's all coming to light because of a single lawsuit filed by Jane Birkin's daughter. The astonishing accusation claims that Hermès, a brand long celebrated as the pinnacle of French craftsmanship, has allegedly been taking shortcuts by covertly outsourcing the production of Birkin bags to factories in China. Yes, China, the very country that luxury traditionalists strongly oppose.
It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. Put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
You can continue to expose all of these retailers. Nobody's going to care.
I am about to crash.
Y'all would never catch me in nothing fake. No fake earrings, no fake bracelets, no fake shoes, nothing fake designer. It's going to be enough for me.
Out.
This scandal undermines the value of traditional craftsmanship, and the person exposing it is none other than the daughter of the very icon the bag was named after. The timing couldn't be more damaging. The fashion industry has already been shaken by rumors of counterfeit operations, hidden factories, and secret collaborations between established brands and overseas producers. But this is a game changer, a potential blow that could shatter a legacy.
I need you people to wake up and critically think and stop believing this shit that you see on TikTok, okay?
You mean to tell me you believe that this man is making your Birkins in China? If he's a Birkin artisan, then I'm an astronaut.
It's made in China. I can get that for $12.
Go outside and touch grass. Some of you guys feel like this is your moment to shine and you can finally stick it to people that buy luxury goods without like even fact checking anything about any of this information.
Because when Jane Birkin's own daughter takes legal action against the very fashion house that made her mother's name legendary, you can be sure there's serious trouble brewing. And reportedly, Hermès reacted by completely halting all Birkin bag production, putting the entire manufacturing process on hold.
Have you all seen that TikTok by the Chinese guy exposing how luxury goods are actually made? The only real difference? China ships the products to Europe, slaps on a made in France or made in Italy label, and boom, luxury? It's ridiculous.
These are pieces of artwork. These artisans train years and years to make one of these bags.
Fabrice is doing the last stitching on a Kelly bag. A Kelly takes around 13 hours to be made, depending on the materials that we make it. Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag.
Well, Hermes says, made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's not a quality issue. It's luxury brand washing.
Hermes, you guys, it's time to show off your factories. No, I don't want to wait to go on YouTube and watch a beautiful documentary on show them off right here on TikTok. Let the world see. Okay, get like China. You gotta be ghetto about it. Just let people know.
No prior notice, no official statement, no attempt to manage the fallout, just complete silence. And that silence speaks louder than any words Hermès has ever released. The Birkin bag has always represented more than just a handbag. It's been a way of life, a coveted prize on endless waiting lists, a clear sign of status worn by celebrities, royalty, and billionaires alike. But now, that once untouchable symbol is facing serious damage to its reputation.
Had a lot of requests, do Hermès next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
In Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way. I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
And the person tarnishing its reputation is closer to the story than anyone else. Lu Duyan, Jane Birkin's daughter, has reportedly filed a lawsuit that's creating chaos behind the scenes at Hermès. Insiders reveal that the case revolves around a serious allegation. Hermès deliberately and knowingly moved Birkin bag production elsewhere.
Yes.
My point is, I think it's crazy how designer brands have been selling things for thousands when China sell them on and literally they're so cheap. If the Chinese manufacturers are making the same, like the actual Birkins, and then they are also selling these on the side as well, technically this is an absolute fucking bargain because it's the exact same material as a Birkin.
The very same bags that typically sell for $20,000 or more were allegedly being made in Chinese factories. Even worse, they reportedly continued to bear the iconic Made in France stamp. Let's be clear, this isn't just a small change in the supply chain. This is a complete betrayal of everything the Birkin bag represents. These bags are meant to be hand-stitched by master artisans, trained for years or even decades, in specialized Hermès workshops throughout France. That craftsmanship is exactly why people pay a fortune for them, and why celebrities collect them like rare treasures. If these claims are true, Hermès didn't simply cut corners on quality, they constructed a lie and sold it for five-figure prices. And that's why Lu Duyan's lawsuit hits so hard. It's not just business, it's deeply personal and almost poetic. Jane Birkin gave her name to this legacy, and now her daughter may be the one to help dismantle it. This betrayal goes beyond corporate, it's intimate. It's not just about a celebrity endorsement gone wrong. This is about family, about heritage. And now, allegedly, it's about counterfeit in more ways than one. For the loyal Birkin fans, this revelation is devastating. If the world's most luxurious handbag might have been mass-produced in the same factories that make knockoff bags, then what does luxury even mean anymore? But this controversy is just beginning. At the heart of this scandal lies one harsh question. Did Hermès, the guardian of French craftsmanship, secretly send its most prized product to China? For decades, the phrase "Made in France," stitched inside every Birkin, was more than a label. It was a promise. A promise of painstaking artistry, tradition, skill, and a human touch honed through years of dedicated work in a dimly lit Parisian atelier. This romantic story was the reason Hermès could command sky-high prices for its Birkins. But if Lu Duyan's lawsuit holds any truth, that romance was all smoke and mirrors. According to insider leaks and online rumors, Hermès quietly started, outsourcing parts of Birkin production, assembly, stitching, even materials to factories in China, all while continuing to market them as 100% French-made. And allegedly, this wasn't a small-scale experiment. Entire batches of Made in France Birkins may never have set foot in France at all. It gets worse. Several anonymous former employees have reportedly come forward saying they were threatened to keep quiet about these offshore operations. Some mention photos, others talk about factory invoices and shipment records that mysteriously disappeared during audits. What truly sparked outrage was the revelation that these outsourced Birkins were still being sold for $25,000, $50,000, and sometimes even over six figures, while production costs could have dropped by as much as 80%. This isn't just unethical business, it's a luxury scam on a global scale. Charging a premium for art is one thing, but doing so while allegedly cutting corners and deceiving your most devoted customers is another matter entirely. Hermès understood the value of the trust they were selling, so when that trust began to crack, everything unraveled. As more people started asking, where was my Birkin really made? The backlash hit hard and fast. Hermès had spent decades building loyalty, prestige, and obsession around their brand. But in just a few hours following some online leaks and a high-profile lawsuit, that loyalty started to crumble. Social media exploded. On TikTok, former luxury resellers and fashion influencers began sharing side-by-side comparisons of vintage Birkins versus new ones, scrutinizing stitching, shape, and even the leather's scent. One viral video claimed, "This doesn't look handmade. It looks like fast fashion in disguise," amassing 2.5 million views in a single day. On Reddit fashion forums, devoted Hermès collectors were losing their minds. People who had waited years just to qualify to purchase a Birkin suddenly wondered if their prized bag was nothing more than an overpriced knockoff. Some immediately sent their bags for private authentication, while others started preparing legal action. The sense of betrayal ran deep. These weren't casual buyers. These were individuals who built their identities and personal brands around owning authentic luxury. They weren't simply buying a handbag. They were buying into an exclusive fashion elite. Now many feel they've been duped. One former customer posted on Instagram, "If I wanted a bag made in China, I'd shop at Zara, not spend $30,000 on a Birkin." That post quickly gained likes from multiple verified accounts, including a stylist famous for dressing A-list celebrities on the red carpet. Even longtime Hermès fans began to waver, some publicly calling for boycotts, others pleading for the brand to come clean and issue a global recall. The loudest outcry came from the highest spenders, furious because in luxury, perception is everything. And now that the veil has been lifted, people aren't just angry, they feel humiliated. But here's the real kicker. This isn't Hermès's first scandal related to their production practices. What followed made previous issues seem minor in comparison. This isn't just a Hermès crisis. It's a wake-up call to every legacy fashion house still clinging to outdated ideas of luxury. Because if Hermès, the untouchable handbag giant, can allegedly fall this far, who's next? The Birkin was supposed to be the gold standard, the pinnacle of luxury. But if it turns out to be just another overpriced product with a pretty story and a Made in France label slapped on at the last minute, then nothing is sacred anymore. Suddenly, every luxury brand built on mystique, scarcity, and heritage is under intense scrutiny. Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Dior, all are being watched closely. Consumers are demanding answers. They want to know exactly where the leather came from, who stitched the seams, and whether their $8,000 purse was crafted in an artisan's workshop or churned out on a factory line. Supply chain transparency is no longer optional. It's essential for survival. And the truth is, most of these brands aren't ready for it. They've operated behind closed doors for decades, counting on the fact that no one would question their process. But now, thanks to this alleged Hermès implosion, questions are coming faster and louder than ever before. Fashion insiders are calling this moment the start of a luxury purity test. Every brand with sky-high prices but unclear origins is now under scrutiny. Influencers are switching loyalties, stylists are removing Hermès pieces from photo shoots, and resale platforms are flooded with customers asking, was this really made in France? This isn't just a minor PR issue. It's a reckoning for the entire industry. The era of blind brand worship is officially over. Luxury fashion just got hit with a huge wake-up call, and not all brands will make it through. While the fashion world scrambles, Hermès faces an even bigger threat, a looming legal storm. If Lou Dillon's lawsuit gains momentum, and public's opinion is already largely on her side, Hermès could be pulled into a courtroom battle that uncovers much more than just Chinese manufacturing. This means depositions, subpoenas, factory records, internal emails, and if even a single document proves that Hermès knowingly stamped outsourced bags with the Made in France label, it's game over. This wouldn't simply be a scandal, it would be outright fraud. Consumer protection agencies in Europe and the US are reportedly watching closely. Why? Because this wouldn't just be about branding, it would break international labeling laws. If Hermès is found guilty of misleading customers, they could face huge fines, forced product recalls, or even criminal investigations. And if Hermès falls, other brands might soon follow. But legal issues are only part of the problem. The ethical fallout could be even worse. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If Hermès outsourced production to China, were the workers treated fairly? Were the materials sourced ethically? Were labor rights respected? Or was Hermès simply chasing bigger profits at any cost? Keep in mind, this is a company charging $25,000 for a single handbag. Linking such massive profit margins to questionable labor practices isn't just bad PR, it's an ethical disaster. And then there's the hardest hit of all, consumer trust. Companies can survive fines or bad headlines, but when their most loyal customers, people who have built their identities around the brand, feel betrayed, that damage is often permanent. Hermès now stands on the brink of a legal and moral crisis. One wrong move could cause it all to collapse. Yet the crisis didn't end there. The real question became not only how Hermès would respond, but whether the brand could survive what came next. In the face of these allegations, Hermès finds itself at a crossroads. To repair its image, the brand must take strong, transparent action. Whether through open communication, independent audits, or a renewed commitment to authentic French craftsmanship, Hermès needs to show accountability and real alignment with its customers' expectations. The Birkin bag controversy is a sharp reminder of the fragile balance between preserving brand heritage and adapting to modern manufacturing realities. As consumers grow more demanding and insist on transparency, luxury brands must uphold the values that made them iconic. For Hermès, redemption depends on recommitting to authenticity, quality, and the artisanal tradition that once set it apart.